Hello students, welcome to part 2 of UGC NET Environmental Sciences Syllabus Review. Let us go quickly into Unit 2. Before that I will show you the 10 units. In detail I have explained already in part 1. So who are interested can watch part 1. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. So now let's go to the review. So these are the first 5 units of UGC NET syllabus Environmental Sciences, and Unit 1 to 5 you can see here, and from Unit 6 to 10 you can see here. Okay. Now we are going to Unit 2. So Unit 2, I have split it into modules like this. In Unit 2, it is basically about environmental chemistry. So in Unit 1, we learned about the fundamentals of environmental sciences, and Unit 2 is about environmental chemistry. So first is the fundamentals of environmental chemistry, how it is classified, how the elements are classified, what is meant by stoichiometry, which means balancing of chemical reactions, what is meant by the concept of Gibbs energy, what is meant by chemical potential, what are chemical kinetics, what is chemical equilibria, and these are the different components of environmental chemistry. But basically you should have some basic understanding of chemistry. That is why these topics are given. So then you have the solubility of gases in water, how they are getting dissolved. Then you need to understand the carbonate system. Then something about hydrocarbons. Two types of hydrocarbons are there, saturated and unsaturated. Finally, the fundamentals of environmental chemistry, it ends with radioisotopes. So this is one set. The second set, if you look, it involves the environmental chemistry of the air. So basically it talks about the composition of air, and composition of different gas molecules in air is basically called as the atmosphere. So what are the different particles present in the atmosphere? What are the ions, the radicals, and different reactions that take place in the atmosphere? Basically thermochemical reactions, photochemical reactions, what are they? Then you have to have an understanding of the oxygen and ozone chemistry. So upper atmosphere and lower atmosphere, they involve two different kinds of ozone. So you need to understand that. Then finally it ends with photochemical smog, which is a byproduct of air pollution. So this is why environmental chemistry is actually learned. The third component deals with the environmental chemistry of the water component. So you need to have a basic understanding of the hydrological cycle. So water as a universal solvent, that they will teach you. Then you need to understand the concepts of environmental chemistry from the point of pollution. So you have DO, which is dissolved oxygen. Then you have biochemical oxygen demand. Then you have chemical oxygen demand, followed by sedimentation, coagulation, flocculation, filtration, pH, and redox potential. So all of these concepts are extremely important in understanding environmental pollution of water. So this is the first 3 modules of environmental chemistry. Second, again I have split it into another 3 modules, where you can see that the environmental chemistry of soil, what are the inorganic components and organic components. Then you need to understand the biogeochemical cycles, and in this, what are the cycles that you have to learn? You have to learn the nitrogen cycle, the carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, and sulfur cycle. So how these different elements or molecules or chemicals are being cycled in and out of the environment, and how the balance is maintained, and this is called as biogeochemical cycles. Okay, so the next set of topics that you will have to learn is about toxic chemicals, the environmental chemistry of toxic chemicals, mainly pesticides. And in order to understand pesticides, you need to have them classified. So classification of pesticides and the effects of the pesticides in the environment, in the living bodies, etc. Then you need to learn about the biochemical effect, mainly the biochemical effects of heavy metals. So what are they? Mercury, cadmium, lead, and chromium. Then you need to understand the biochemical effects of metalloids. So arsenic, selenium, cobalt, ozone, then tan, VOC, and POP. So these are the different components. And finally you have to learn about the carcinogens in the air. So these are the basically deals with environmental toxicity, and that comes under environmental chemistry here. And the third and the I will call it the 6th module, because we are looking totally into Unit 2 as 6 modules. The last module is about the principles of analytical methods. So how these chemicals or these ions or these components are actually measured. So in order to understand that, you need to have an understanding of the analytical methods. So titrimetry, gravimetry, bomb colorimetry, chromatography. Under chromatography you have paper, thin layer chromatography, gas chromatography, and high performance liquid chromatography. So that is what TLC, GC, and HPLC means. Finally, you have to go through flame photometry, spectrophotometry. Under spectrophotometry, you have different types of spectrophotometry, ultraviolet and visible wavelength. Then you have AAS, atomic absorption spectrophotometer. You have the ICP, inductive coupled plasma spectrophotometer. Then you have the AES, ICP, AES, we call it collectively. Then ICP, MS. MS is mass spectrophotometry. Okay. Then you have components of electrophoresis, which is also a technique widely used in biotechnology. Then you need to have a basic understanding of techniques which involves X-rays, mainly the XRF, the XRD, NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance spectrophotometry, and FTIR, Fourier transform infrared spectrophotometry, GCMS, gas chromatography with mass spectrophotometry, then scanning electron microscopy and transmission electron microscopy. So that brings us to the end of the review of the syllabus for UGC NET Environmental Sciences Exam Unit 2. Thank you very much and stay tuned for the further videos on this particular syllabus review. Bye bye.